Good day, guys. Austin here, and in this one today, we're going to be doing a lot of waffling about front ends because, to be honest, over the last couple of weeks, the complete scene has changed. Things have been revolutionized. New things have come onto the scene which we never even thought of before, and this has had a huge impact about various different front ends and the way they work. So, without further ado, let's bring you up to speed about launching every game that you could ever imagine under one program. So in this episode today, we're going to get stuck straight into the front end news because there's been quite a lot of ruffling feathers going on out there. And first off, let's get stuck straight into Critical Sid. Now, Critical Sid isn't a front end. He's an actual person. Of course, his birth certificate probably doesn't state that, but you know where I'm coming from. Anyway, this guy has probably single-handedly revolutionized the front end scene right now. What he's done is he's recorded Hyperspin themes into video format, which means that technically now any Hyperspin theme can be used on any front end. Because let's face it, Hyperspin is a standard definition front end. Of course, you could use all kinds of hats and slashes to get the most out of it to kind of push it up, but at the end of the day, it still renders at a standard definition. Now, if you can utilize their themes on another front end, then you're playing Hyperspin themes better than what Hyperspin can do. That's crazy. But of course, then you've got the caveat of the actual theme would have had to be recorded on a Hyperspin. That's still standard definition, even though you're recording it high definition. But I suppose then you can use scalers, then you can use different file formats to actually get the most when you are upscaling it, so on and so forth. Anyway, that's topic for another video and probably for the comments down below. And also the ethics behind all this, you know, where's your standpoint on that? They have been doing this for some time, but they haven't made it official. Nobody could give it the nod because there's so many different front ends and I don't know, people involved in all this, that it was never made official. But now, of course, it has been given the nod. It's available from EMU Movies FTP, amongst other places. But Critical Sid has assured me, if you are going to do this, get the video straight from the EMU Movies FTP. You do have to be a member over there, because they're the best quality to actually get the most out of this. Also, it's got different variations, depending on if the games have got various different themes, system themes, mature themes, all that kind of stuff. The quality is better from there, I have been assured. So that is the Critical Sid stuff. Now every other front end can do Hyperspin better. I don't know, that's just my interpretation of this. So what has been going on since then? Well, Launchbox picked up the ball with this straight away, and they've been working on utilizing the video formatted themes in their front end, to be honest, for some time now. They brought over James Baker. He's been making more videos himself, making the more cinematic themes. They've got 9977 working over there, and they've started to build up a good community with a good knowledge and fan base in making these types of themes. The great thing is that when you're making a video formatted themes, you're not limited by your front end and what it can do. You're only literally limited by your editing skills, your ideas, and all that kind of stuff. So the possibilities are pretty much endless. Now, with all this in mind, Launchbox knew, well, kind of think that this is probably going to be a good way to go forward. So they've incorporated the way that you can download, you can utilize all these video formatted themes into their front end by giving you a nice little GUI. While you're in the front end, you can pick the kind of preferences you want, what quality, where from, blah blah blah, all that kind of good stuff. So you can pretty much theme your front end on the fly, and well, it's pretty much good work as always. The development in Launchbox is top notch, and it shows in this kind of scenario. They jumped all over this and they've got it working to the max. So that's Launchbox then. Elsewhere, we got Retro FE. I don't give Retro FE enough scope, I reckon. Enough coverage. And that's probably because they've took a bit of a hiatus for a while. Basically, the guy in charge there, he decided to step down. He just couldn't invest enough time as what he thought it deserved, and it was kind of stagnating for a while. Eve gave up the reins, and now Fullsoft, excuse my pronunciation of your name, mate, sorry as always, but basically he picked up the reins. He's now in charge. He's built a new website, he's building up a new forums, he's trying to get a good community together. This front end is completely open source. It can be utilized on Windows, Linux, so you can run this on your Raspberry Pis, and it's an awesome way forward. This is one of my key players, I reckon, one for the future, because it's a blank canvas. Anything can be done with this, and anything will be done. Because it's open source, I would hope that everybody would jump all over this. Also, the Raspberry Pi side of things, it opens so many doors. So hopefully this will be jumped all over pretty soon. Links in the description down below for some videos that I've done covering using video formatted themes. So of course you can use critical SIDS kind of stuff, and also the pre-configured setup that FullSoft was working on some time ago. Hopefully I'll have some more coverage of this as they develop and get the speed and momentum going again. But please take a look at the website, links in the description down below. It's awesome work forward, and at least show your head to the community, guys. Awesome work going on over there. Right then, so Hyperspin. Now, Hyperspin has been doing nothing. No, to be honest, that's very harsh. I mean, in terms of the front end and its development, of course, nothing. Nothing's happened for some time there. There's been a few updates here and there, but pretty much it's the same Hyperspin that we've been seeing for many, many years. However, let's not confuse this with the community, because, let's face it, they are the more, I don't know, robust, the one with all the ideas, the one where, to be honest, that comes up with all the stuff that now trickles through into all the other front ends. And that's mainly due to the artwork and the community itself. Now, let's give a mention. Gigapig, THK, these are the backbone of Hyperspin, and very much deserved so as well. Gigapig is a pretty much pillar of the community, and he helps people out tirelessly. He pushes things forward, and he's pretty much generally an all-round top guy. Same with THK. He's the one that single-handedly probably pushes this community forward in terms of the artwork and how it's represented on the screens, especially the themes, and pretty much, again, all-round top guy. Now, the front end isn't developed, but everything that goes along with it is. The community, their artwork, the, I don't know, just general front-endiness is always active and always moving forward to try and stretch the most out of what is now a very dated front end. Of course, there is all kinds of third-party apps which are constantly being developed to try again to drag the most out of Hyperspin, but it is vitally needing that update. So hopefully that will come about very soon. There is Hyperbase, I believe, just about to be launched, if it isn't launched already, especially in its beta version. This apparently is going to be a game changer, especially with what's rumoured to be the upcoming launch of the new Hyperspin. Let's hope that does come to fruition, of course. Elsewhere then, we've got Attract mode. Now this one has been the love of YouTube and people doing their modded themes and stuff like that at the moment. People are climbing all over this, and it's basically mostly due to Floob and what he did. He incorporated Attract mode into a RetroPie setup, which meant that it was a lot more, well, good looking. Because you can do a lot more with Attract mode than what you can do with Emulation Station in terms of visuals, of course. But it still needs that backbone of the emulator, the way it works, all that setup. So we incorporated them both, and people have been running with this. They've been adding their setups, their games, their ROMs. They've been sharing this like no one's business, and there's kind of built up a community on its own right now. So that's where most of the attention is going to when it comes to Attract mode. But don't let that fool you, because Attract mode is also obviously Windows based, and even myself thought it was limited and still very much early days. But then with the unleashing of the Nessica system, it then caught my attention of the Nessica X Live theming that Fate did. Again, links in the description down below to have a look at this kind of stuff. But this pushed it to limits that I didn't think it was possible to have with this front end. It really does, in terms of functionality, theming, the way it interacts, the way it just snaps around. Absolutely awesome. And I would say this is kind of on par with RetroFE in terms of they're both open source, they're both utilized on different kinds of platforms. And I would say, of course, it's very much early days, but in terms of the user friendliness, attract mode is pretty much getting that solidly nailed down. I would say it probably needs a little bit of improvement, probably again my naivety, that it needs some, I don't know, make it easier for the initial setup for the user to just pick this up, add the games and start gaming. I think if they can nail that down, then it would really push this to the next level, and then you probably get more people on board with the theming, build up the community, and then you get the, I don't know, like what's happening at Hyperspin for many years now, people getting on board and building this into something which nobody thought was possible. Yeah, so that is attract mode. Jesus, I'm waffling today, aren't I? Okay then, last and not least, definitely for this one, GameX. Now, Tom Spears, the developer over there, he's constantly on my back. I don't give this front end enough attention as what it deserves. And that's not because it doesn't get developed on enough. It's because it's being constantly developed. But what happens is, I think it's like a closed door environment over there. They've got a thriving community. They've got an awesome front end, which isn't just about gaming, but about multimedia in general. It opens up many more doors than what of the other front ends are trying to revolutionize now. GameX has already done that, and they did it probably years ago. The versatility in the front end scene is absolutely gobsmacking. The problem I think with them guys at the moment is they don't make it public enough. There's nobody singing their hymn sheets. There's no, I don't know, they haven't got staff on board to make adverts and flashy news feeds and build tutorials and things like that. And it's probably a lot down to my fault as well, because I don't know, probably I should invest more time in these guys because they do an awesome job. They are pretty much the longest lasting front end in this scene right now, and a lot of the good work and stuff gets overlooked. There's a lot of personalization, there's a lot of builds and things that have been overlooked as we've gone along, and also there is just about to unleash the GameX evolution, which I think could take over everybody in this market right now. So I'll put links in the description down below. I promise both the GameX guys and you guys that I will try to cover more of this stuff, but you just need to tell me about all this stuff so I can bring it to the general public. Of course, I overlook things all the time. I'm not in everybody's bubble all the time, and I overlook things that people I know would love. So if you've got something to offer, let me know about it straight away, and everybody can then benefit from all this information. I'm not perfect, but I cannot read minds. But trust me guys, links in the description down below. Check out the GameX guys. Yes, they may not be the most vocal amongst us, but yes, they are pretty much top tier quality front-endy goodness. So look forward to some future videos from that in the future. Right then guys, that's pretty much it for the main players. I do want to cover a few other little fringy front ends, but I think they deserve dedicated videos to bring them to the public attention. But don't trust what I say, or don't listen to what I say, or don't think that this is me saying one front end is better than another. By no means am I saying that at all. It's all down to personal taste, and all I've brought to you today is just a taster of what's happened recently. Many of these front ends are built on heritage, about their long-lasting and community bases, and there's many things to consider when you're choosing the front end that's right for you. It's probably one of the most asked questions that I get on my channel, on my social media. Which front end should I choose? Which front end is the best? There is no right answer. It is all down to the individual themselves and what they're going to be using for. You need to take into consideration certain factors when you're thinking about all this. I don't know, like, what is it going to be, your front end? Is it going to go inside an arcade cabinet? Is it going to be a HTPC that people are going to jump on and start getting involved with? Is it a kids-based thing? Have you got lots of systems that you want to put in there? How much time have you got to commit to this kind of setup? Are you going to turn it into a hobby, or is it just a quick fix to get you up and running? What systems do you like to play? How much money you want to spend on it, if any at all? And if you want this to be a long-term thing. It's all down to, of course, as well, the biggest factor, personal taste. If you don't like the themes and you don't like the layout, or if you don't like how it works, then that wipes it out straight away. it's all down to personal taste. So again, links in the description down below, guys. Please do your research. Don't listen to my interpretation about what I like and where I think things are going, because things change, things open up all the time. And of course, like I said over and over again, it's all down to personal taste, what that community's doing, if you even like what's going on. Some front ends I won't even touch because I hate the people that's involved in it. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. But it all boils down to the actual user and the people who want to use it. So there you go, guys. I think I've waffled enough about this one today. Hopefully that's brought you up to top speed about everything that's happening in the front-endy world. You know, please, again, like I said, do as much research as possible if you are a first-time user. But hopefully this has enlightened people who have been in the scene for a while, and those of you just about to pick up the reins in this bountiful world of front-endy goodness. That is it for today, guys. Please look forward though, because later on today, on the day of me releasing this, EMU is about to be unleashed onto the world. Now, of course, it's been out for some time. However, it's the latest build, and we all know how well this is good for its incarnations. Each upgrade brings new games, new delights, and new pleasures for us all to jump on board with. So hopefully that'll be, well, going soon. Also, I've got loads of videos that I have still got backlogged with. I need to show you how to actually play the games in Nessica if you haven't figured that one out yet. I need to show you the Neon Retro Arcade games. I promised you a video on that, and it is half done. I don't know, I've got loads on the way, including a nice little gimmick with what you can do with some retro pies. So anyway, guys, I've waffled on enough. Please like, please subscribe, please do all the things that people normally do in this YouTube world where Titanfall is played terribly for the public. But most of all, you have a good day. Laters!